Hi, Kavitha. Thank you for joining in this podcast, Data Decoding Minds. And I would like you to introduce yourself first. Could you walk us through your professional journey? Uh, I thought that it will be incredible if you walk us through the whole journey of yours. Yeah.
Sure,
Over
Rajat.
to you.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this valuable podcast. I'm sure you're doing a great job inviting a lot of data professionals and helping the your audience. So, to introduce about myself, I'm Kavitha Lakshmi Narasaya, and I have around 15 years of IT expertise as a data engineer, and I've been working for a US firm here. I have a master's degree in information technology. So I also started like most of us as a legacy mainframe developer. So I come from on-premises legacy system. So that's where most of us have started, correct? So on where our insurance and the banking domains still lie till date. So I started working on COBOL and other mainframe related technologies, and what drove me towards the real-time processing of the real-time world technologies such as cloud, etc., was the ease that we work with the data, the amount of scalability that it provides us. So that's where I tried transitioning myself from on-premises legacy system into data engineering. As a first step, I started learning the data engineering skills,
Mhm.
such as how to process the real-time data using tools such as Kafka. And the best thing moving from legacy to the cloud was that you don't have to run your batches, which are so difficult to be looked upon. Now we have automated orchestration tools such as Airflow, which helps you orchestrating the whole process, and it is very easy to work through your extract, transform, load processes of the data pipelines, and also the wonders of Databricks, DBT, or be it the Apache Spark, where you can process large scale data sets within seconds. So I thought when the world is moving towards AI, that's where yes, it's very much required that we upskill ourselves with cloud technologies and Snowflake and other data warehouses that we have currently. That's how I transitioned myself from legacy mainframe to data engineer midway of my career.
So, in data engineering, how many years of experience from these 15 years?
I was half of my journey as a legacy mainframe developer, and then it's been let's say 7 years into data engineering, and
Mhm.
I've been working as a senior data engineer in the US firm.
Okay, okay. So, the second question I have for you is like many analysts or data engineers struggle to with like presenting the complex findings to their non-technical stakeholders, right? So, could you share your approach to storytelling, data storytelling, how you deal with these type of clients?
Challenge in when we try to present the technical insights to non-technical stakeholders, or let's say the non-technical audience also here, they might be overwhelmed when I use the big words such as Airflow, Apache, or PySpark, the large data sets, or real-time processing, etc. So it's really challenging to explain a non-technical stakeholder. So I take the three-step approach here. Step one, instead of just getting into the numbers, I explain the whys of it. Let's say the ETL pipeline is really slow. Why is it slow? It could be slow because the data is getting updated only once in a day. So the sales team who is trying to analyze the data, they might be working on an outdated data, or they might be selling a product which is really which is already being purchased by the customer. So that could be the reason where such data flows into our ETL pipeline. We as data engineers, we try to optimize the data. We write some formulations to see that, okay, purchase has already been made by the customer, and then we filter them out, optimize the data, and that's where a bit of time might be involved, and that's where the ETL pipeline is slow. So instead of just giving the numbers to the non-technical stakeholders, I would like to explain them as to why uh, is the pipeline really slow with the technicalities which is involved. Step two being, again, since they're not from a non-technical background, any type of funnel chart or the IO diagrams to say what is the input and what is the output and where exactly the customers are getting dropped. Scenarios could be explained using a chart better than just by instead of just some statistics. And also, instead of running some SQL query, which would be very overwhelming for them to understand, coming up with some picture-based illustration of where the real data issue is. So would definitely help a non-technical folk to understand the technicalities or the issues better. So that's the approach I take.
So, Kavita, my next question to you is like you have achieved a community of 125K on Instagram and 35K followers on LinkedIn. So, what inspired you to share your journey on Instagram and LinkedIn? And do you think it's important for freshers or maybe new data engineers or maybe anyone as a data engineer, data analyst that they will share their journey or their projects on LinkedIn and Instagram? Uh, will will that benefit them?
That's a great question, Rajat. Thank you for asking. Yes, I started my journey on Instagram with bit-sized knowledge
Hmm.
sharing sessions, such as on webinars, on interview prep, how to transition from non-tech to tech. So my audience is mostly freshers just out of college and totally confused as to where they should make their career and what job roles should they be picking up, because everywhere they do SQL. So should we move into data analyst or data engineer? So keep telling them that data analyst is overcrowded, so they have to look into much demand job roles such as data analyst, or if they come from the data science background, then why not data scientist? So yes, as you rightly mentioned, it's not just about learning the tools. I also help them with valuable projects to be added into their resume. So, as you rightly mentioned, if there is anybody who wants to share their project or their professional experience with others to help guide them, I am more than welcome to do that on my channel. Yes, I also have been doing the same. It's about the community work. So, knowledge is sharing, and it is of only value only when you share it with others. So, I believe in that. Yes, I provide my valuable career guidance to professionals who are looking for it.
Great, great. Okay, so my next question is like, what will you recommend for new data engineers? So someone want to come with a career gap, or someone want to enter into data engineering from a different set of domain, right? So someone like you only from mainframe, they want to convert into data engineer. So what are the tools and what are the resources you recommend to them?
That's a golden question. Yeah. So, first of all, I want to tell all of them that it is definitely not impossible, that they think it's very difficult to transition from a non-IT to IT background. It is doable, but with the right guidance and the right roadmap is what is required. So for any data professionals, two things which are very important, two skills which are very important is SQL. SQL is what we eat and breathe when it comes to data. So SQL, mastering the SQL is a primary key. And there are several tools which help you to master SQL. It doesn't have to be writing boring SQLs. There are several AI tools these days which are available, which helps you learn AI SQL interactively in a game, as a fun game, or with some interactive challenges. So go for it, learn from them. Similarly, Python. Learning Python coding would help you go a long way when you are looking for in-demand job roles such as data engineering or data and scientist, etc. So learning Python is very much required for data manipulation, data cleansing, or data wrangling, etc. So that is a much required skill. And the next thing I would suggest is having a perfect roadmap of understanding what skills one should learn. So Airflow Apache is a must required orchestration and automation workflow tool which one should be aware of, and not just learning the skills. Doing a complete pipeline where you take the data from online net, let's say, and then processing it, extracting it, transforming it, and then loading into your tables, doing the required operations, and then writing those insights into dashboard, into a Power BI or a Tableau dashboard, etc. A complete project, which is what helps. It's not just about certification. It's not just about learning tools. What is much required when you want to transition into such challenging roles is gaining some real-time experience by working through the entire workflow. So I suggest certain projects. I have created projects which are which involves all of these tools and technologies, which are not licensed based, and which you can download on your system and try it out for yourself and gain that valuable experience, add it to your resume, and then start getting interviewed.
Okay.
Hope that
And
answers.
what resources you recommend? Because I've seen like internet is flooded and these freshers are very confused, like what resource they should pick, what should be the step-by-step tutorial. So because there is no start, there is no end point, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how they can like
So now
in
we are in the era where everything is accessible within minutes, and we have so many platforms to learn from: Udemy, Coursera, YouTube, Google, ChatGPT. I mean, name it. So I'm sure we are all overwhelmed when it comes to learning anything new. But what I suggest again is having a proper roadmap, which by tool picking the courses which are well recommended. Let's say on the SQL itself, learning from AI tools which can help you learn interactively, as I mentioned. So I can suggest a couple of tools. Post this podcast. Maybe I can write a PDF where they can learn SQL and Python coding as well. I prefer the W3 School is a very good platform to learn Python or any other language, because be it Java or JavaScript or any language you name it, W3 School has its own professional way of teaching, where they provide you an interactive a window to write the
code
code
also?
and yeah, try it for yourself. And while coming to the other licensed tools, such as let's say Apache Airflow or PySpark, then there are alternatives to it, how you can learn through it. Let me document all of them. And building the whole project is what we require at the end. So you need a guidance as to how do you cleanse your data, how to remove the duplicates, or how you load it into your SQL database, and then finally, how do you arrive at those DAX for the Power BI datasets, Power BI dashboards to be built as business insights? So a complete end-to-end package is what you need, and you definitely would need career guidance there. And also on Coursera and Udemy, if you see there are courses which are as a package in whole. It takes the data sets and then it processes, applies into the data pipeline, and at the end provides you insight that can be drawn into a dashboard. So definitely recommend such courses such as Google Analytics courses, one such thing, which is for 3 to 6 months, but then it's a paid course. You can take financial aid if you're a fresher, if you're still learning in a university. Take financial aid, which will reduce your fee by 90% for such courses. So use such techniques which will help you learn the end-to-end projects.
Okay. And you have worked like with the whole pipeline, data
Mhm.
engineering process also, data analyst also. So do you think like these two industries are correlating somehow right now? Because even a data engineer uh, can do a data analyst job, right? So he can also
Yep,
build a dashboard, and
exactly.
if someone know Power BI and SQL, he can also do a pipeline. It's not so difficult to learn data engineering part.
That's
So
very true.
yeah,
Yeah.
so do you think like uh, what's the key differences when we talk about data engineering with data analyst? So what do you think about this?
I'm glad you asked that question, because most of the freshers or the professionals out there are totally confused as to what's the difference between a data analyst and a data engineer. So let's say when the data flows into our system, right? Who does the engineering work? It is a data engineer. So we pick the data, we cleanse the data, we transform it to the business need, and then optimize the data using our ETL process. our data pipelines. And then we could use some orchestration tools such as, let's say, Airflow Apache itself to kind of automate the whole process to run it by itself. And then we have Apache PySpark to data engineer or process these large scale data sets, and then we provide it to the data analysts. The data is being provided to the data analyst. So data analyst job, what is it? They, as the word itself says, they analyze the data in terms of the business aspects. They fetch insights out of it to see where the business improvements have to be done. So they also use SQL, very less of Python. They don't need much of Python knowledge there. What they need is more knowledge about statistics using R programming, and more into data visualization tools such as Power BI or Tableau. So you're very much correct when you said that a data engineering role, a person itself can do a data analyst job because they've already arrived at the clean data. All that is required is getting the insights out of it. That's where I kept saying that data analyst role is overcrowded. Yes. Sorry, you were saying something?
No, no. Uh,
Okay, what I recommend is
so you are
definitely
saying that
looking
it's
into,
like
yeah,
over.
yeah. It doesn't need much of technical expertise there except for SQL and writing some, drawing some statistics out of it, and knowledge about data visualization tool. As you said, that role can be being pulled away by a data engineer any day, with the time where the job market is so bad, and where there is a lot of recession going on and people being laid off. I feel if there is somebody whose job is at stake, then it would be data analyst itself. That's where it's very important for them to learn and upskill themselves with more data engineering tools, or get into more demanding job roles such as data engineering or data scientist, if they want to survive in the industry that we are in.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about your day-to-day life, like in your company? What's the process? What's your day-to-day job?
Right, sure. So my day-to-day activities starts with, again, as a data professional, it's in and around data. We get, as most of the other projects, we do get the real in-stream data. So processing the real in-stream data is quite challenging, where it has to be spontaneous and error free, because these are important data which flows through the system. So as a data engineer, I work on the data pipelines, the ETL process, where we extract, clean the data, remove the duplicates, apply some business rules to it, optimize it so that it is processed well by the system. And finally, when the data is ready, we do use Databricks, DBT, to etc., to process the large scale data. And these days, the serverless architectures are in boom. So involving such architects, cost reduction, scalability, and making the data being available all the time with help of cloud technologies, where we have data fail-safe features, or the data backups being taken, and it can be recovered within seconds. So working on the disaster recovery mainly is my job, where we make sure that the data is available all the time, and then supplying this data to the business analyst and the data analyst is part of it. They are the stakeholders that we work with, and I'll also interact with the business stakeholders to understand what their business requirement is, and then jotting down the whole architecture for it.
Okay. You have mentioned that you are using some cloud technologies also in
Mhm.
your project. So, what are they, and how do you think that people are moving from on-premise to cloud, right?
Yeah. So I closely work with AWS currently. AWS is a cloud provider. I've also worked on Azure as a cloud provider. So AWS being widely used, that's been something chosen for the project that I've been working for. Cloud helps with better processing using the EC2 instance. Again, we have the different models here, right? Software as a service, infrastructure as a service, etc. So what helps moving into cloud technology is, let's say if you take software as a service, you do not have to worry about the architecture behind it, maintaining its infrastructure, or having a system which maintains its security, or really having those big servers that we used to maintain as part of mainframe, right? The legacy world where the the server itself would take away large amount of space, and maintaining it's very expensive. So you don't have to worry about all those hardware. So when you take a software as a service, you just worry about your service, your application, how to develop your service, and the rest things around it are being built, are being supplied by the cloud service. And also it becomes very easy to process large amount of data with the storage being provided with S3 and other features. And also processing the real time data is much easier with cloud and cloud based technologies such as Kafka, etc., instead of going through legacy.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's a great answer. So, based
Thank
on
you.
your experience, what do you recommend, like the approach for preparing for data engineering interviews? So, what aspects do candidate often overlook?
The things that I would mention is maybe three steps here, right? The first thing is master your SQL and Python concepts. So when I say SQL, you should be able to write queries for the real time problems. So it's just not about learning SQL, but take the real time data and start working on it, right? Challenge yourself and write those real-time problems, try to solve them. And there are many tools, as I mentioned, which are available in the market, which can help you with the real-time data, and you try to solve them. So SQL the is let's say 80% of life of data professional. So that is something which you should definitely master. And then a coding language, let's say Spark, Hive, or a Python language would definitely help. And when it comes to learning the skills on the tools, again, as I mentioned, it's not just learning those skills or just learning those tools. Applying them is very much important. So you have to pick a real world data and then work through cleansing them, removing the duplicates, or optimizing your data. Push that data into a ETL pipeline and automate the process. See how you can process those real time large amount of data, and use skills such as Apache PySpark to probably help to process those data, and then completely build that end-to-end project so that you can explain it to the interviewer. So and having the cloud-based knowledge on it, using the cloud-based features such as AWS S3 or Lambda, etc., into your projects would definitely help make the project stronger. A strong project is what an interviewer looks for it. It's not the certification. If you're a fresher, do not worry about going and getting that certification. Certifications are not important for you. What you need is understanding the concept, building that whole project where you'll be able to well articulately explain it to the interviewer. You can just take a simple example of your university itself. Let's say you have a subject which is being widely being chosen over the other subject. So you can take that as an example. Fetch the data, remove all the duplicates, cleanse the data, find out what is the ethnicity there, or the gender-based data. You can provide statistics out of it. So you can do a simple project as simple as from your university itself, but use the right skills required and showcase a strong project. That is what an interviewer is looking for.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you think about like how we can grow on a LinkedIn or maybe on Instagram if we want to build a community as a data engineer? What's your key takeaways from several years you are doing this? So,
Okay, I started my Instagram journey just a year before, exactly a year before now.
okay.
So what helped me is understanding the pulse of your audience. So the initial few days or even the few weeks were challenging. You have to figure out as to what your audience is looking for. So I understood that my audience are looking for tech roles, and they're having difficulty in making their career in tech. They do not have the right career guidance. They're looking for interview prep guides or what to learn, where to learn from, etc. So yes, that's how I started my Instagram account, with little reels which will help them with interview prep, where to learn, what to learn, how interactively to learn. Such concepts is what I started with, and that helped me gain a lot of followers who are looking for career guidance. I also started providing my career guidance on TopMate, where I help them with their mock interviews or career guidance of how to transition from a certain role into a different role, such as non-IT to IT. And I recently started my LinkedIn. Again, all the platforms, I guess that is the thumb rule. Understand the pulse of your audience and try providing them the valuable content that they're looking for, which is very rarely found. Like you a interview guide having scenario based questions, like not just asking what is an inner join, right? That's not what an interviewer is expecting for. He would ask you a real based question, and you should be able to instantly provide real time solution to it, right? A query to it. So providing such interview prep guides or guidance as to where to learn, what to learn, help me get the real audience, is what I understand. Yeah.
Okay, great, great. Okay, and what are your tips for the resume? Do you follow certain structure? Like we have that ATS is coming, so there will be like a difficulty that candidate should uh, create the resume in certain types. So do you have any
Yeah,
such?
so I guess that's $1 million question now, because we are seeing rejections every time. I mean, you just post for a job and then you get a rejection mail immediately saying that your resume was not shortlisted. So, what's the cause for it? If you're a fresher, you should definitely understand that there is something called as ATS system. These days, or let's say it's been there for years too, but we did not focus much on it because there were not so many rejections, but now we have. So we it's very crucial for one to understand what this ATS stands for. So it's a tracking system that most of the companies use, and they have their own formulas to filter out the profiles. What they do is they see if the SEO words such as let's say for a data professional, certain skills are being embedded in your resume, and is it ATO friendly? Is it easily readable? Easily readable fonts, and do not over fantasize your resume with colors, pictures, etc. Pictures are not allowed, and do not you do not have to share your address or your ethnicity, etc. These are not required at all. What they're looking for is your LinkedIn profile to show that you're genuine, and your phone number to contact you, your email address, and the rest. It should start with the objective or your professional summary, and that should be very compelling, because an HR only gets 30 seconds to look into, let's say, into a resume, and that has to be really captivating. So in your that professional summary, which is, let's say, 2 bullet points, it has to be compelling, and it has to explain as to what your professional experience is, what your expertise are, and what is that which keeps you motivated. So these 3 points should explain them your whole of resume. If that interests them, maybe that's when they go into your skill section, your projects, etc. So that professional summary is very much important. Skills, add all the relevant skills which are required for the job role. And it doesn't have to be, again, the students and the professionals are with the notion that, okay, I have not worked on this tool, can I still add it? Yes, it's very much required that you add it. And how would you add it? Go by the job description, see what the job is looking for, and tailor your resume accordingly, because you do not want to miss that one chance to get interviewed. You might be brilliant, you might be smart, but what is the use if you don't even get the job interview call? So it's very important that you get your resume shortlisted. For that, tailor your resume as required. And even if you do not know the tool or the skill, I still insist you to add it, and try working on a project which involves that tool, and go prepare yourself 2 days before. Go to YouTube, go to the learning platforms, understand what the tool does, and if you're at least able to say as to how you utilize that in a project, maybe in a sentence, that might do wonders. Do not say that you have not worked upon it, and try to understand those tools, and make your strong resume with strong project, and then go about it. It should definitely help you being shortlisted.
Okay, yeah, that is a great answer. So you have
Thank you.
experience in both the environments, like India working environments, US working environments. So what do you find like a key differences or similarities? How is the work-life balance there?
That's a great question. So the work-life balance is really great. The first thing is you don't have to be held in the traffic for long. I guess that is one big advantage that I see. And again, when it comes to the professional work, yes, the timings is definitely being valued. So when it's 9 to 5 work, yes, it stays as 9 to 5, and most of the time, I myself log out after 5, and anything beyond 5 again would be counted as an extra hour if I'm working through. So that professionalism is being looked into. But I see many data professionals working beyond hours. Again, it depends on the project that you're working on, the criticality, and again how involved you are into the project. So we Indians, I guess that's where we are still in the we are ruling the tech world, because we give our 100% here and we give our best, be it in India or US. I guess till the work is done, we give our the most, even if it takes overwhelming hours. I see many of my friends still doing it. I've done it too. So when it comes to work, I guess it's the same. It's about the mentality, how we want to go ahead and take it forward. But yes, mm, most of the times I do wind up my work on time. And
So
yeah,
it's better than India, I think so, right?
yeah, in certain terms, yes, definitely, definitely. And you save your time on road, so that's another big thing.
Infrastructure wise, yes, it's
Yes, yes, yeah,
infrastructure is better. That's why.
yeah,
So here in Bangalore or any other big tech cities, there
yes,
there will be like an infrastructure problem.
yeah. And of course the package too. So if you want to get some client exposure, that's again not difficult. Let's say you're there in your company for most valuable years. So what is stopping you to get that client exposure or working globally is that maybe I've seen through my career guidance that they have not made an attempt to go and ask for it. If you think that you're eligible for it, you have that expertise in you, you are not being given the chance that you deserve, go ask for it, and go get that client exposure and work through it. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So thank you so much, Kavita. I think we can wind up here. And from this podcast, I think the audience will get most of the information for data engineering. And if they have any question, they can put in the comments. You can also answer. I can also answer. And I will put your LinkedIn also in the description so that they can directly connect to you.
Thank you so much, Rajat. First of all, yeah, I should thank you. You're doing a great job getting all the data professionals and explain their or share their valuable knowledge with the audience. This is a most commendable job with the current job market that we have, where the audience are totally perplexed, don't know where to go, what to do, or what to learn. So your podcast sessions, I've heard them before. I find them highly knowledgeable, and they're very interesting too. And they provide ocean of guidance as to where to start, what to start with. So thank you so much for the job that you've been doing. I really appreciate it, and inviting me on your podcast. Thank you so much. Means a lot to me.
Thank you so much. It means a lot because I've just started the journey of YouTube. So I just thought that let's start doing this and help others also to build their career in data field. So I
That's
think
a
I'm
great.
doing my part,
Yeah.
my part, and let's see what's the audience want
I
to
wish
take
you all
it
the
from.
best. Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank
Keep
you.
up the good work.
Thank you, Kavita.
Sure, Rajat.
Thank you. Bye bye. Have a
Thank
great
you. Thank you for your time. I'm so sorry I kept you waiting all this time. It was because of the time issue.
day. Yeah.
Time zone. Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Rajat. We'll communicate.